So evidently, a lot of people were excited for a Switch 2 reveal happening this week. There was lots of videos made about it that Tuesday was allegedly going to be the unveiling of the Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo channels and Nintendo YouTubers, which I am not, were all going on this whole thing that this was finally the week. Even Spawn Wave yesterday was talking about the potential of it being this week and something happening on Tuesday. Everyone's focused on Tuesday. Well, spoiler alert, people. It is Tuesday, and there is no Nintendo Switch 2 announcement. We're going to talk a bit more about that as the video goes along, but there was an announcement. And you know what? This is an announcement that I actually really like. You could go back in my history of talking about Nintendo games, especially Wii U games that have been ported over to the Nintendo Switch. And there was one game that I always focused on. There was one game that I always said, this is the game that needs to be ported to the Switch because of the fact that it was struggling on the Wii U. You had to download texture packs on it. And it's arguably, well, in my opinion at least, the best game in the series. And that game is Xenoblade Chronicles X. And guess what, folks? Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is indeed a reality. That was the big announcement for today. So I want to talk about this because honestly, I am looking forward to this. I love this game. I think this game is super awesome. One by one. Like, I really enjoy this game. So I want to talk about this, and then we'll talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo stuff towards the end of this video. So this is a definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles X. And if you've never played this game before, it's very futuristic, and it doesn't really feel too much like the other Xenoblade games. Like it does in terms of gameplay, like the combat is still pretty similar, but everything else feels very different. It feels very more, like I said, futuristic. Like the characters, the relationships you build, the world itself, it's more of a realistic thing. I use that kind of loosely, but when I look at like the other Xenoblade games, it's definitely more focusing on a more animated style, whereas this game was always kind of a little bit more like rooted in, something maybe a little bit more older and mature, I guess you would say. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say here, but it does feel very different. You have these things that you eventually unlock called skells, which are like these big mech things that you can traverse the land in and fight these massive creatures with. It's a really great game. There's like a hub city that has side quests in it. It's super fun. I really enjoy this game. And on the Wii U, you had the problem that it was definitely pushing the Wii U to its absolute limits. If you wanted like faster loading and HD textures, like higher resolution texture packs and stuff, you actually had to download that separately as an additional thing. And, I always felt that the Nintendo Switch could, potentially be better optimized for this game. We'll take a look over here at the page for it. It comes out on March 20th of 2025. They did kind of redo some of the character faces and stuff like that. I actually think it looks a little bit better than it did before. But like this, like look at these landscapes and stuff, and got the scale here and all that sort of stuff. These big creatures. It's definitely very Xenoblade-y, but it's like Xenoblade in kind of a different era, I guess you would say. And this is actually my favorite Xenoblade game. When you scroll down here, you see that there is a visually enhanced edition with new story elements and more. So that's super cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. The online stuff is included in the game as well. I hope they kind of expand upon that because I did really like the online stuff. $60, it is a Wii U game, but it's also a Wii U game that nobody ever played. I don't even think it sold 1 million copies, and it definitely deserved it. It was an awesome game, and I always say that this is my favorite game in the Xenoblade franchise. There's a physical edition, a digital edition. I am super excited for this. I'm super excited for this because I want to play the best version of this game, and this game did have, you know, some technical issues on the Wii U, and hopefully those are ironed out and we're taking advantage of the architecture of the Nintendo Switch, and it'll make for a good time. However, now that we've gotten the story out of the way, we have to stop with this Switch 2 shit every day. We have to. We have to. We just have to. All right. All these leakers, all these crazy Reddit accounts and Fammy boards and Reset Era accounts and all these people that are just talking out of their ass. I think it's time to realize that maybe they are just talking out of their ass. I really don't foresee anything else major happening this week. Nintendo also announced that Shadow Man and Turok 2 were coming to Nintendo Switch Online for the N64. That is probably already also available by the time you're watching this video. They just announced a larger game that was a complete shock of an announcement for many people. You know, it's something that had been rumored, but obviously this is how Nintendo is kind of moving. They're going to potentially fill out their 2025 stuff because now the whole holdup was that after Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, freaking scam of a game, that was the final Switch game. So, they're getting ready for Switch 2. But now you have another one, a large game that is probably, you know, that's worth that $60, unlike Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So what does that mean about the Switch successor announcement? I don't think it's happening anytime soon, folks. I think that 2024, I think you have to, I think that ship has sailed. And I could be wrong on this. And part of me hopes that I am wrong on this because I stand to make a lot of money when this system is announced. And a lot of videos will come out and excitement will be there. And it'll be a fun time to discuss all this stuff. I want it to be announced. It would benefit me in many ways. But I'm also a realistic person. And I just feel like the ship has sailed, man. I feel like the ship has sailed. I know people say, well, there's an investors meeting and, you know, they need to have some sort of stuff. But, I mean, Switch is still selling. Software is still selling. You give some vague answer about how we're going to talk about the next system, you know, soon or something like that, meaning early 2025. And I think everyone's happy. I think you completely dodged that bullet. We got to stop these Switch 2 reveals. Is it this week? Is it this week? Like, it's madness. You can get excited for stuff, but the problem is people end up getting disappointed by things. People that aren't exactly in the know. People who don't watch, you know, YouTube every day, who just kind of see a headline and then that's what they base everything on because they're not familiar with the content or this, that, or the other. They're a casual YouTube viewer, and then they end up getting disappointed. People end up getting mad. But you know who's not mad? I'm not mad. Because I'm excited for this. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, gimme. This will be super fun. Because even when you emulate the game, you know, it's still not perfect on the Wii U version of it. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited for this. But are you excited for this? Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Do you think that this announcement puts a damper on the Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo stuff? Because I kind of think it does. And as always, thank you for watching this video. Hit subscribe if you're new, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I think I've said that 3 times. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.